everybody bought it. Oh, sorry. Move in. Bob's not coming?
Yeah.
He's ill. Let's call our meeting to order and rise for the pledge, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a big crowd today. It's fun to see everybody here from EDC and tourism. We'll see the sheriff here in a little bit. So first up, let's approve our minutes from our July 5th meeting.
Second.
Motion by Gary, second by Tony. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. We have a letter that I'm going to have Kathy talk about real quick too. The city is applying for a grant and they just wanted a letter of support from council, so I will let her explain that.
Okay, Gary and I belong to the WUR Wayne Union Recycle Group, and we've been working with the Richmond Sanitary District to try to get more recycling and things going on in Wayne and Union County. And so the MRF station, which is where they recycle things in the city of Richmond, is at the end of its lifespan. So we're working with them to try to see if we can get a regional recycling going, so it wouldn't be just the city of Richmond recycling. They would go out and pick up for Wayne and Union County. And we're working on, can we get that going? Because the EPA would like to see us at, I believe it's 30% recycling by the year 2030, and we are nowhere near that. So this letter is just to say that we support that effort. They don't have any particulars down and they're not asking for money. We're just collaborating with them and to support them when they go to the Wayne County Foundation to see if they can get the capacity building grant that cycle is starting here in a few days. So that's really what this is about.
So you all had a copy of that letter in your email
Yes.
in the last couple days, and I think we just need to make a motion that we approve sending this letter to for the city to attach to their grant.
I will make the motion that we sign the letter in support of that effort or for that grant.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion by Kathy and a second by Barry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none.
I'll sign it and head it that way.
I have one right here. I think I have the original right here.
Okay,
So I will
we'll
send
get
it
it
to you
signed
guys.
in. Thank you.
You're good. All right, commissioners' comments this morning. There are none? Oh,
Mr.
shoot.
Higginbotham.
Okay. We thought we were gonna get lucky twice.
All right, you have your bi-weekly update on the colored sheet this morning. Just a couple, as always, the items highlighted in yellow are the changes since you have seen this sheet the last time. Item number 3, the courthouse exterior. I mentioned that they have rounded the turn and they have moved to the east side. All the grout has been removed from the courthouse now. Now they're following up to do the patchwork and the cleaning. The annex generator, that contract has been signed and has been sent off, and the notice to proceed has been issued. No date yet on the date that will commence. Item number 26, the fairgrounds website, that is has been reviewed by commissioners. They made a couple of little changes to it, but that'll be rolling out in the next couple of weeks, and we'll have it for you to look at your workshop here in August. Then item number 38, the Coleman HVAC. The other 2 units have been delivered, and we're just waiting for a window in between events in the Coleman Center to have those 2 other HVAC units installed. And the First Bank Expo Hall HVAC project, there's a long lead time on some of the pieces of equipment for that, so it looks like it'll go into early winter before that actually starts. They're They are digging out for the foundation for those to set on the west side of the building, but that project probably won't get started till into the winter. So that number on the far right, that 509,000, remember to keep looking at that, what we're looking at for expenditures for 2023, probably will go over into 24. And I have added then on this sheet, and you'll continue to see this, remember the council's one-time expenditure appropriation was underfunded because the encumbrance didn't get put on. So that number at the very low, bottom of the page, second number from the right, is your current cash balance in that appropriation. And the number on the far right then is what we have committed thus far from that appropriation. Any questions on that?
So of the $2+ million on the right there, how much of that will be this year versus carried forth next year?
As we talk today, I think that entire amount for the Expo Hall HVAC, that $500,000, probably won't be spent this year. So I think you're looking at about $2 million as today.
It's good to see this all getting done.
Huh?
It's good to see it all getting done.
Yeah.
There's a lot of green. That's a good thing.
Okay. Next time, I just want to bring up and just to see what council, how you want to handle this. Recall in the building grounds miscellaneous appropriation, it's a fund that we pay for repairs to the health department and for the fairgrounds. Remember, we cannot do repairs out of Cume Court for those two buildings. So the appropriation in that fund is $50,000. We had requested an encumbrance from last year to this year, and that's what this email sheet is. So I had requested to have about $34,000 encumbered, which would have made that entire amount about $84,000. I listed there those 6 items that we had committed to in 2022 that were paid in 2023. So those items have been paid out of that $50,000. So with the invoices that I have this week to pay, it'll send that into the red unless we do something with that. So it would seem to me that we could either pay up to that $34,000 amount out of that one-time council expenditures, or we can understand that we're going to run that in the red and fix it later, or do an additional appropriation. One of the three.
It's pretty early in the year. Do you have anything else that may come up if we run that in the red and fix it later? Is there going to be things added to this?
There will be, but remember with the way the auditor had cut off expenditures for 2022, we actually have December expenditures in that account too.
Okay.
So we've got about 8 months expenditures in it. With the way that we spend it, I would anticipate and I plan that this will finish us out till December, barring unforeseen circumstances.
What's council's pleasure?
We could spend it in the red and fix it later.
I mean, we have to advertise an additional appropriation
That way, if
anyway,
there's
so-
any additional,
Yeah, okay. Does that sound good to you guys?
And that's what I would suggest, because you remember, we've got a couple of 100 accounts that have been unfilled.
right?
There'll be some, and we generally have some utility money left. So just so we're all understanding that we'll run it into the red up to that amount. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you.
Thanks.
And I would just add that, as always, we will keep you apprised of any things that come up at each of your meetings, so that you know how far into the red we might be going and for what purpose. Just a couple of things, if I could. We've been, continue to be very busy. We're looking at a number of initiatives that we'll report to you as we get additional information. We are planning to start this month with quarterly meetings of elected officials at our regular Wednesday morning meeting. We have typically monthly meetings of our department heads on the second Wednesday of the month. We're tentatively scheduling, we'll be sending out to all the elected officials a meeting for August the 23rd. You all will be invited to that. It'll be at our regular meeting on Wednesday morning. We want to start a forum where we can share things that are going on and get feedback from elected officials. In some cases, we will invite our department heads to those discussions as well. I would contemplate on the 23rd. We will do that and have a joint meeting of elected officials and appointed department heads. There's a couple things that are coming up that I want to get feedback on. We are working again on a parking plan. We hope to have a draft of our ideas for that meeting to get feedback from folks that will actually be involved in implementing that plan. So that would be one agenda item, and another is that working collaboratively with the health department and the sheriff's department and some other agencies locally, we're considering an active shooter drill for sometime next spring. So we want to start the conversation, make sure we're getting feedback from people on any unforeseen issues and how that would impact their offices if we were to follow through with that. So we'll be planning this as probably a quarterly meeting going forward, and we'll let you know on this date on August 23rd. Be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have anything from any committees?
We did have, WUR had a paper shredding event, which Barry and I think Barry took care of on Saturday in Hagerstown. And off the top of my head, I think it was 3,000. Do you remember how many pounds paper we got shredded? I think it was 3,575 or something like that. So we had, I think several folks showed up for that, so that was a good thing. And then we have other things in the wind, but that was our recent, so thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? If not, our workshop will be August 16th at 6 p.m. I'm sure we're going to be staying here a while working on budget things that night. And our next regular council meeting is September 6th at 8 a.m. And we will adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion?
Move to adjourn.
Motion by Tony, second by Gary. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There is none.